Hello everyone, I'm Watson. In this video, we're going to talk about if we need a managed PoE switch for setting up an IP camera system. So this question doesn't have a certain answer because we don't really know what kind of IP camera system we're setting up for. What situation are we going to be? If we're setting up this IP camera system for like our personal residence, like our home or a private property, we don't really need a managed PoE switch. An unmanaged PoE switch will help us do all the job. An unmanaged PoE switch is really easy to operate. It's a plug-and-play device like this one right here. It's very small, and all we need to do is just plug the Ethernet cable in the right place. The IP cameras will all go to the PoE ports right here, or provide power and data. And once all the data has been gathered in this device, we can use the uplink port to connect it to an NVR, a recorder, to show us the image of the IP cameras like on a screen, or help us record the footages on a hard disk drive that's integrated in the NVR. Or also we can use the uplink port to transmit the data up to the internet for us to access remotely. So an unmanaged PoE switch is basically a really, you can say anybody can use, really easy to use. And if we need a managed PoE switch, that's mostly because we have like a business. In a business, we have different departments, and usually a managed PoE switch will help us kind of divide and conquer. We don't usually, an unmanaged PoE switch is just like dividing all the bandwidth and the power evenly. So everyone has like an average bandwidth and an average power output. But with a managed PoE switch, we can use most of the power and bandwidth for very important parts such as surveillance, security, and the finance department. Because the finance department has to take care of the withdrawals and the incomes, a lot of checkings, and also sometimes in some areas, maybe like the technical support section, they're going to need a lot of bandwidth and power as well. In that case, we can divide the power and the bandwidth to those sections and leave the rest be like at its minimum. So a managed PoE switch sometimes would look like one of these. This big guy right here is one of our 16 ports PoE managed switch. This managed switch has a lot of ports for multiple devices, and all the IP devices we connect IP devices, PoE IP devices, and it also has like fiber optic link right here. These SFP modules are for fiber optic link. It can help us transmit data faster and further. We can talk about it in our future videos. And as for like a managed PoE switch, the way it helps us divide our power output and the bandwidth is because it has a feature called VLAN. VLAN will help us, you can imagine, all the data and power in a big room. And we have like our finance department, we have our technical support department, we have our daily office workers, and we have our security systems, like for our IP cameras and the security guards. And we have to redistribute the whole network to very important sections to make sure they have enough for daily operations, such as like the surveillance system, which will be in the security system. So we can like take like a percentage of bandwidth and power and give it all to the security office. And that is just like dividing the whole room into all the sections depending on your design. So VLAN is basically setting up a little virtual rooms in this network without using hardware physical connections to modify this whole network. So it's very simple, just really some modifications within this PoE switch. And also a managed PoE switch will come with QoS, which is quality of service. Also can help us like raise the quality on specific LANs. And also it has access control, which will help us, it's basically like a virtual security guard within the network. Only personnel with the credentials to access that area can be let through. So access control is basically the second security step for our network. So for a setup of a managed PoE switch, the beginning is basically the same as an unmanaged PoE switch. First, we have to use a power outlet that connects to our electric outlet, and there's connected to the power supply on the PoE switch. So this managed PoE switch is now connected to the power. We're gonna plug one of the IP cameras to any port we desire, and then we upload all the data to our NVR right here. So basically, all the cameras will connect to this, and the data will be gathered and then packed and uploaded to this NVR right here. So basically, we're going to have an image shown on the screen shortly. So now I've connected the IP camera to the PoE managed switch. So the managed switch is basically operating within the network right now. And for more features, we can go to the interface. And the interface will show you in the feature videos. In the future videos, we'll talk about some operations in the interface. And now I can see the camera is video footage live, and that's basically a very successful connection. All right, that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to leave them at the section below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.